car jacked up. We're getting under it. Before you climb under the car with the jack stands, always give it kind of a good nudge. Make sure it's not too wobbly. Ideally not wobbly at all. If it is, then you probably need to reposition it. Let's go ahead and change this oil on this, what, 50-year-old car. Fuel did bleed back down in the filter. A little concerning, but it's maybe not that big deal. Keep an eye on it. But oil goes in here. These old muscle cars, they have flat tappet camshafts and lobes, so you need an oil that has zinc content in them. You can buy zinc separately and just buy regular oil and just put the two together, or what I chose to do, which is just to buy the Valvoline VR1. So it's meant for old classic engines and race applications. So I don't think it will be doing too much racing, but the extra zinc content will be good for this motor. This is what we're going to be using today. The Valvoline VR1 along with our PH30 Fram filter, which, yeah, I know they're not the best, but I think they'll be good. They'll be good enough for the first oil change for this car. And our oil filter looks like we got a few springs set up for the clutch return to help with that. That's neat. Wonder how much they're actually even doing, but we'll have to see as we drive it and see if it needs either some more springs or something set up better, maybe routing more here. Definitely had a lot of, used the oil of the skid plate a couple times, looks like. You hand me that rag. Oil's black. Little fuel smell. Got some Marvel Mystery oil that we're going to put in with it. Help add with the fuel, just to help the piston rings and valve seals. Hopefully kind of bring them right back on. As it's draining, since it's so close, I'm going to remove the oil filter along with it while it's still draining. position a little bit, just so that way I'm catching the oil coming down and the oil I'm trying to drain. There's layers of oil on this thing. Oil and dirt. Hey, well, you know, I had a Fram PH30 on it to begin with, so it's going to get the exact same thing. It had like a little plastic rubber seal on there. It was all dried out and probably would never seal well again. I have a bunch of these little crush washers, which I've had pretty good luck with. They're cheap. You can get like a big old pack of like 20 of them for like $4 off of Amazon. But this is what I'm going to use, and hopefully we don't have a leak. If we do, I'll let you know. We usually do. And I'm going to pre-fill the oil filter. Since this engine really hasn't ran a lot since, it has a little bit. I feel pretty confident it'll be fine, but just to give it a little extra insurance, because I actually kind of care about this car, we'll make sure we can protect it as much as we can. So this is screw on from the bottom. I'm going to pre-fill the oil filter so that way the oil pump got something directly to suck in, and I'll lube up my seal and screw it on. Lube her up. This helps your seal against the motor with just a little bit of oil. You can use either the brand new stuff or your old oil. This oil is really black. Oh, they actually went down quite a bit. Add a little bit more in there. I'm not making a massive mess. Once you get it flush, like tied up against the motor, you're going to want to give it just another like rotation and a half at most. Alright, basically about as tight as I can get it by hand. Maybe I could maybe get one more turn, but that's all it needs. I don't need to over tighten it. But yeah, so that's the bottom. Now we just got to top it off on top, and then oil change is done. Actually, we'll tell you what type of oil and what you're supposed to put in it, but this engine's old enough that it just doesn't have that. So I'm right here, so I'm well within the add to full. I'm probably going to try to get it just a little bit higher, just so that way it's got a little bit to pull up from when it fills up the filter the rest of the way. Right, you got it right at the top. It'll probably go down a little bit once the engine starts, but since I pre-filled the oil filter, it shouldn't really drop too much, so it's right where we want it. Typically anywhere that's between the middle of the add and full line to like 3/4 of the way full is where you want. I am happy with that, and we'll go with it from there. In the last video, we seen that there's no fluid in the power steering pump, so I'm going to put some fluid in it, and then I'll pop the belt back on. That way maybe we have power steering. This, since it was so low, we'll probably have to top it off when it's running. But I bet at least adding that way too much. What I'm going to do real quick is put the power steering pump belt on and the water pump and alternator belt. So the power steering pump goes on first because it sits further back, and then we'll put on the other belt. I've already went ahead and loosened both adjuster bolts, so I'll tighten those back up once we get the belt on. This belt fits very tight already, so I'm just going to kind of put it on, and then since it's so tight, I'll actually just kind of rotate the motor over just to get to spin on the rest of the way. Just like that, it's on. And we'll get a pry bar in a second and tighten that up along with my wrenches. First, we'll go ahead and hop on this belt, which fits a lot looser, but it'll be enough to. Also, with my pry bar, I'll tighten this up, get where it needs to be, tighten it up, and both belts are on. And we'll have a water pump, alternator, and power steering. It does have brackets for AC. That was all disconnected before I got the car. Eventually we'll see if we can get to work, but right now it's running driving time, not cool air time, but maybe cool fluid running through it. That's it. Pretty sure this is 9/16. Tighten up. There's 2 bolts on each, the water pump and our steering pump. But you'll leave the one side loose where the adjuster is, where you got the up and down motion. I tighten that up first, and then I come and I tighten up the other bolt that doesn't have an adjustment. It just kind of pivots on it. When we start this up next, it'll likely squeal a bunch. It's perfectly normal. The power steering, it hasn't ran for who knows how long. The belt that was in the car was just for the alternator and water pump, which actually is still pretty good shape, so I'm going to try to reuse it. There's no cracks, still had a decent amount of bending in it, so we'll go ahead and reuse that. I believe this one is a 1/2 inch on this adjuster. Yep. Loosen it there. I will fold up a little bit by hand, but we got this service hole here, so I'm going to put my breaker bar in there, pull it tight. We want it to have a little bit of give, but not a whole lot. That one, and then this one replace this lower bolt. I know it's a 9/16.